안녕하세요. Goedendag, good evening. Welcome back to my channel. It is January. It's almost the end of January. And I am back to talk about books. I've been away on vacation. I went a little bit to South Africa to visit my parents, which was amazing, amazing, amazing trip. Did some reading there. But I wanted to do a video about my top 3 and my disappointed 3 of 2023. So I didn't do too much reading. It's not like I read 170 books over the course of 2023. I started very late in 2023 reading, but I did manage to finish more than 20 books. So I was at least able to do a list of 3 books that I really, really loved and I think that are favorites of mine. And then 3 books that I won't say they are bad books. I was just personally disappointed in them. That's unfortunately how it goes. Sometimes you are sold something and it's not what you were sold, unfortunately. And this is why we're making this video. The top 3 and the disappointed 3 books of 2023. We do have 2 honorable mentions in the top 3. In the disappointed 3, we don't really have honorable mentions because they're not bad books. I gave them probably like 2 or 3 stars. Some people like them, some people love them. For me, I just went in expecting certain things and then I slightly got disappointed nearing the end. So I didn't really love it. But the top three is just like amazing. And I know some people disagree with me, but this is my list, not your list. So this is my opinion. This is what I like, this is what I enjoyed, and this is what I was disappointed by. It is currently winter in Korea. That's why I'm wearing this cute little hat. Because it's winter and short sleeves because actually my apartment is actually really, really hot. It gets like sunshine and then it gets hot and then yeah. So I'm trying to give you winter vibes on the top and then summer vibes on the bottom, just so that you know why I look so weird today. I don't know why I'm talking. I'm just talking a lot of bunch. Let's get into the actual book. So we're gonna start with the disappointing 3 books in a very specific order. So the least disappointed book out of the 3, I have to say, was The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Now, I have to add, don't relax. Sit down, relax, don't come for me, don't come at me, don't just relax. I think she is a phenomenal writer. N.K. Jemisin is a phenomenal writer. From the one book I read, I can see she's an amazing writer. I really want to read her fantasy books. The 5th season is high on my to read list, so please relax. Shh. It's gonna be okay. I'm not coming for her, not attacking her. I was just disappointed in this book. Yeah, it's just okay. I didn't like it. Okay, I was expecting some pretty cool things, and there were some pretty cool things, but there were just some things that she just kind of hit you over the head with it. And I've spoken about this book in a video before, and I was disappointed in this book. I wanted this book to be good and amazing, and I'm not sure if I'm going to read the second one. Maybe I should. Maybe it will redeem itself. I'm not sure. But yeah, just it was very hard-handed in certain places. Certain concepts, certain ideas were just hit home way too hard and left little nuance. But the prose in this, I think, is very beautiful. I think she did a beautiful job. She read some amazing books. And God Jemison is amazing. It's just, this book just didn't do it for me at all. I think I gave this, at the end of the day, like I said, I gave this a 3-star because she is a great writer. The story is unique. The story is interesting. It's just with some of the characters and how the characters were handled, and it was just, some things were just a little bit on the nose and not as nuanced as I hope they would be. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for 5th season. I really want to read 5th season this year. That is on my to read list. I just don't own it. I need to actually get a copy of that, but that I'll do when I find it. Let's not talk about that. So that is number 3 of my top 3 of disappointed books. So it's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad. Okay, I'm not saying it's a bad book. Again, disclaimer: This is not a bad book. I was just disappointed in it. It didn't do for me what I wanted it to do for me. Okay, okay, okay. This is the third one. Okay, the second one, the bane of my existence at this stage, because I still have 3 more books, because I promised to read this series, and this is Haruki Murakami's 1Q84. This is the part 1. It's, again, it's not bad. It's an interesting concept. It's just, it's a little slow. There's a lot of things that are happening, but it kind of feels like not a lot of things are happening. These are only what? This was only 300 and something pages, almost 400 pages, and it felt a little slow. Again, the concepts inside the book, they are pretty cool. I'm very interested to see where the book goes. I am interested to see what happens to the characters and how everything ties together. It's just that the love that people have for this man is just insane. As I understand now why people have a problem with how he writes his female characters, because for example, the way that the sex scenes are handled for the male character and the way the sex scenes are handled for the female characters are completely different. Like, dude, dude, suspicious. Okay, okay. But again, I don't think he's a bad writer. I don't think the translation of this book is bad. It's just, it's a thick boy with part 2 and part 3 that I still need to read, and it's just a little bit slow. It took me a while to get through it, but I got through it, and I'm proud of myself. And it's not something, the same with The City We Became. Both books, it's not like I wouldn't recommend this to people. I just wouldn't recommend it to everyone. I wouldn't force people to read it at all. But I am going to continue with this book because it is something that I promised a friend I would read. So I am gonna read the second one. I think I gave this like 2 stars because it just wasn't. Maybe if I get to the end, it will be more. Maybe if I get to part 3, it will be like, oh, this is so amazing. But for now, it's like, it's a slow burn, and not from a romantic point of view. It's not from a romance point of view. It's definitely not a slow burn. But our number 1, top 1 spot. Here we go. It is Lonely Castle in the Mirror. This was my biggest disappointment of 2023. And I kind of feel like it's unfair because it's not the book's fault. Technically, it's the people who told me what the book is about's fault because they lied to me. I did a whole review video of this if you want to go check it out. But this book, again, I think it is well written. I think the prose is beautiful. I think the translation is very well handled. It's just that people were telling me that it's gonna feel like I'm reading a Hayao Miyazaki film. I'm reading a Studio Ghibli film. And then that is just not what I read. And then everything happens. The time jumps in this book was just very, very jarring at times. And then there isn't this, it didn't feel like there was a good build up to the climax. It just felt like things happen, and then just smacks you in the face. Be like, this is the ending. We're at the end. We're gonna do the climax, and things are gonna happen, and then we're gonna take it out. And I'm like, what? No, I don't understand. You're being too rough with me. So it wasn't a good experience. The last few pages, I really had to like force myself to sit down and read to finish this book because I was very close to DNFing it because I was so excited. I was so excited for this book. I got into it. I liked it, and then I was like, okay, things are not sitting right with this book, and then it just kind of went from there. And then I was just a little disappointed. I was just disappointed with Lonely Castle in the Mirror. That is seriously my most disappointed book. It's not the worst book I read by far. It's not the worst book I read. I mean, I read an pirate erotica, and that was the worst book according to my Goodreads. That was the worst book I read because Yeah, I guess I'm just not into erotica because I expect better. I want more from my books. That's not here nor there. Lonely Castle in the Mirror, unfortunately, that takes the top spot. Can we put this in order? No, like this. I need to see my camera. So that's what it looks like. I'm sorry if I disappoint anyone in the making of this video. It's not on purpose. I swear. It's not on purpose. I hope. I hope. I hope. Please be nice. Please don't hate me. Please don't hate me. But okay, let's not talk. We're done. We're done with the disappointments. We're done with the sad part. We are going to take a sip of coffee. We're going to take a quick break. That looks disgusting. This is a tiramisu latte. So you need to roll it first. Swirl it around, and then we'll get a nice cup of tiramisu latte. Okay, let's talk positive. Let's talk good things before we carry on. We have some honorable mentions. The first honorable mention is one of the books that I read during December, or during January actually, while on vacation with my parents. And it was Straight Expectations by Callum McSwiggan. This is a cute little queer story about a gay boy who wakes up and then he's straight. And it's not that intense. It's really just a fun little book, but I really loved it. I ate it up. I loved it. I enjoyed it so much. It was so good. And it almost honestly made my top books just for the pure fun of it. I just had to mention it. I haven't seen many people talk about this, but I would definitely say if you are on the queer side of light, or if you're not even on the queer side of light and you just want a fun, cute little story. We've seen many stories about people getting trapped in time loops and other worlds, and then they have to solve a problem to get back to the real world. This one is a fun one. This one is a cute one. It is a romance. I would say go out there, get it, try it. It was so cute. I really can't say too many things about it. Oh, it was such a cute story. Oh my goodness. I will definitely be looking out to see what else Callum McSwiggan what else was written by Callum McSwiggan. And then I think this is probably my most battered book, as I've borrowed it to friends my cat ate it. But another top mention that I have to put in there. I know, I'm part of the problem, but it has to be Fourth Wing. It has to be Fourth Wing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for people that think it's basic, it's dumb, it's stupid, whatever. But I loved it. I enjoyed it. I ate it up. I read Fourth Wing like it's nobody's business. I just couldn't help myself. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the second book as well. Not as much as the first book, I must be honest. Oh, oh, itchy eye. Oh, can I see now? But yeah, I enjoyed Fourth Wing. It was a fun read. I didn't take it too seriously. I think some people who read it take it too seriously, and I think that's the mistake. Don't take it too seriously. But this was one of my favorite books. This book got me into reading fantasy, like full on fantasy, to be honest, because I was reading some other books before. I wasn't that into fantasy. And then I saw the hype about this book. I got this book and I loved it. I enjoyed it. I'm excited. I'm into the series. I'm into the world. I'm there for it. People can hate it. That's okay. I loved it. It almost made my top 3 of 2023. But it didn't, because I read better books than Fourth Wing. I'm not that big of a Fourth Wing simp, okay? For those people who want to come at me, I'm screaming so loud and it's like 10 in the morning on a Sunday. My poor neighbors. I almost said may they rest in peace, but they're still alive. What am I saying? Okay. Top 3. Let's do it. Top 3 of 2023. At number 3, I have to put The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This book, I think I've mentioned this before. This book has been on my to-read list for the past 10 years, 9 years, 8 years. Like, I saw it in a bookstore and I was curious about it, and I wanted to read it, and I wanted to read it, and I never got around to reading it. And then when I started reading again last year, I just put my foot down and said, like, I'm going to read this book. And what an amazing decision that was. It was, mind blown. The atmosphere in this book. The relationship is a little bit wonky. I will be honest. The relationship there was a little bit wonky. I'm a little bit judgmental there. But just the atmosphere, you just get swept away in the atmosphere. And while reading this book, I was thinking, like, how cool would a movie be about this? But then a movie would not be able to transport you into the world that Morgenstern creates in this book. They shouldn't make a movie of this book. They should leave it alone, keep it in book form, don't make a movie, because you won't be able to capture that magical atmosphere. And that's what everybody talks about when they talk about this book, is the atmosphere of going to the night circus and just the teleportation. I don't know what she put in this book, but it just took me away to another world, and I will forever be recommending it to people. I know it's not the most action-packed book out there, but it shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be. It's not why I personally think. I haven't done any research, but it's not why I think she wrote the book. Maybe it is. I don't know. But for me personally, it didn't need that action. It didn't need that whole dramatic third act big battle sequence that people sometimes love. It was just a magical adventure which I love. And I'm excited to read Starless Sea by her, which is somewhere on my bookshelf there at the back, waiting for me to get it. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a great time even. Now, for the second, I don't want to spoil anything. So I was fighting with myself with what to put at the top one spot, and my nose is feeling a little bit runny. Why while I'm making the video do I need to blow my nose? We'll fight through it. I don't know. I'm still kind of torn, but I'm gonna stick to my decision of what's my top 2 of 2023. And at number 2, I'm going to say It's a Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. I'm so bad at saying names. If you know this book, you know that I don't have to say much. A book has never broken me so completely like this book broke me, and I loved it for every second that it is. People call it torture porn. You know what? Honestly, for those people that call it torture porn, I say I just don't think you get it. If you get it, you get it. If you understand, you understand. But if people call it torture porn, I just don't think you got what she wanted to do, what she was trying to do, and maybe you just didn't hit it off with the characters like I hit it off with the characters. Like, there's just some things that I understood from the character's point of view that broke me completely and broke me again and broke me for days. And I think one of the things that symbolizes for me whether it's a good book or an amazing book or a great book is like, how much time do you spend thinking about it? And I still think about this book. Days after I finished this, I still wanted to cry because of this book. And I think it's a great book. It might be problematic to some people. I can completely see that. But for me, it was amazing. It was great. It was awesome. I think the writing is completely beautiful. It is, I think, 700 pages, almost 800 pages, and I didn't feel like it is too long. I didn't feel like it wasn't an effort to read this thick-ass book. I just enjoyed it tremendously. I just went with it. I just had fun. I had a good old time with A Little Life. Will I reread it? Most probably. I think that is the most, one of the other things about what makes a great book or amazing book is like, will you reread it? Will you go back and read it again? Not all books have to be that way, but Night Circus, I didn't mention, but Night Circus, I would want to read it again. Years from now, I would like to go back and see if that magic still holds up as it did with my first read through. But Little Life, again, this is a book that I tell people I would not. It's not a book that I would recommend to many people. It's not a book that I would tell friends go read it. I mean, you need to be ready for this book. You need to be in the right place for this book. I would not recommend it. Do your research on this book if you're interested in reading it. But I loved it. I loved it. It's my top two. And it's my top two for a reason. My top one book, in first place, with the best book I read of 2023, it has to go to The Sword of Kaigen. What ML Wong did with this book, it's not a perfect book. There were some, I will, you know what, let's just get this out of the way. It wasn't a perfect book. There were some parts in this where I struggled a bit to get through it. It is a big boy. It's a big boy. So some things I do think could have been cut. But the reason why I chose it as my number one book is one, because I still think about this book constantly. And I think about this book because there isn't going to be a sequel. She stopped it. Emma Wong, how dare you? Is Emma Wong female? I have looked no. Isn't she in the front or the back of the book? Why isn't there a picture of the author in the book? She is. Okay. Okay. So she decided not to continue with the Theonite war story, the Theonite stories, and it broke me. And I'm so light. Okay, let me just keep it like this because I don't want to reflect. Yeah, there we go. I don't want that to happen. This book, this book was so good. It was so good. I would recommend it to anyone and their friend. If you like some Asian persuasion in your life, this is the book for you. You've got some Japanese, some Korean, some Chinese. You got some mixture of things in here that just make the fun story. And there's magic and sword fighting. And people said Airbender, and I'm like, yes, please. The Last Airbender was amazing. And then she put in some Last Airbender into this shit, and it was just, I just ate it up. Oh, I enjoyed this book so much. And this is my top book for 2023. Hopefully, I can find another book in 2024. Am I gonna do like a top four and disappointed for at the end of this year? Maybe I'll do that. And then top five and top six and top maybe. Anyway, why do I get sidetracked so much? This book was just so the way it was written, because you get three POV, three. There we go, three. You can see three. You get three POVs in this book, but I'm not going to say more about that because you have to experience it for how it's written. Three POVs in this book, and just how the POVs were handled and the story that is then interlinked between those three POVs it was just delicious and it was amazing. And then ML Wong is just, I can't wait to read more by ML Wong. The Poppy War meets the Lost Airbender's Elemental Magic. That's the thing that I saw. Yes. Poppy War is very high on my to read list as well. But Sword of Kaigen, I don't know. Top book, favorite book. It was a very close between this and A Little Life, because A Little Life just had such. Little Life had a bigger emotional impact on me, but this book, I think enjoyed a lot more because it didn't emotionally damage me so much, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it does make sense. But yeah, those are my top three and my disappointed three of 2023. I hope you enjoyed the video. This is just a fun little video that I wanted to do just to put it out there, just what I enjoyed, what I like, what I don't like. I didn't want to do like bad books because I didn't read really bad books. To be honest, I read really good books that just didn't work for me personally. If I go look at the top ratings of most of the books that I read, their ratings are usually 3.5 and higher, 4 point something. So it's not that I'm reading like critically bad books. It's just those books just don't work for me. But Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful life, wonderful whatever you are doing. Don't let fear interfere with your happiness. You deserve all the happiness in the world. Groete, liefde, vrede, vreugde, geluk, blydskap, liefde. Alle mooi dingetjies vir julle. Until next time. Bye bye.